Hey everyone, I'm Jono from Foster & Black. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to do the inverted Aeropress method. So this is not the traditional Aeropress method, but it's a way that I think works better for the home barista to get a more consistent and good product with their specialty coffee. So this is everything that you're going to need in front of you. So we have the shower screen, which screws into the Aeropress. We have the filter papers, the Rhino Wares hand grinder, the Aeropress, the funnel, your measuring cup. We're using a Peruvian filter roast today. So this is what's called an immersion brew. So essentially you've got to think about it as you have your water and your coffee mingling inside this chamber together. And then after they've sat together brewing for a certain amount of time, you can then plunge the water and the coffee through. So today we're going to be using a 1 to 10 brew ratio. So that's 1 gram of coffee to 10 grams of water. And this is going to give you a brew that's somewhere between an espresso and say a long black. And that's going to be topped up with hot water from your kettle, and it's going to give you a good, easy drinking product at home. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to weigh out 15 grams of coffee, and then I'm going to grind it. Awesome. So now we're going to grind this. Just take the top off. Cool, so this is what you're going to end up with. So this grind is a little bit coarser than your standard espresso grind, and it should feel like coarse sand between your fingers. If you don't want to go through that process, we can grind everything fresh in store for you to exactly how you make it at home. Beautiful, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the actual brewing process. What you're going to do first is you're going to get your plunger and you're going to push it into the Aeropress to just below the number 4 there. And that's just going to make sure that when you flip it around during your extraction, you're not going to have any water coming out through here and making a mess on your counter. So first I'm just going to preheat my brewer with some hot water off the kettle. You want to be using water that's approximately 96 degrees with your filter roast. And what that's going to do, the way that you can achieve that at home without one of these special kettles, is just with your normal kettle, put it onto the boil. Once it's finished boiling, let it go all the way through and flick it off. And then once it stops kind of rumbling like that, it's going to be at roughly 96 degrees and ready to go. Cool. While our brewer is preheating here, I'm just going to get one of our filter papers, put it in the shower screen, and give it a rinse under the tap. That's going to get rid of all the existing kind of chemically flavors that might be left over in the paper. Perfect. Now I'm going to tip out this brewing water, put my brewer on top of my scales and make sure that everything is nice and steady. I'm going to get my funnel, put it in the top here, pour my coffee in. I'm going to take the funnel out and give everything a little shake to make sure it's nice and even. I'm going to get my timer ready. Lovely. Now I'm going to pour in 150 grams of hot water just as I start my timer. Perfect. Now I'm going to give it a little stir just to make sure everything is nice and wet and there's no clumps left. You can now put this down on the counter. set your scales aside and grab the sides and push down gently until the level of the water is level with the top of the brewer here. Just like that. I'm gonna get my Husky cup here. I'm just gonna be ready to go. Once your time is at about 55 seconds, you want to place the shower screen over the top and just secure it like that. Make sure that it's not going to come off while you press. Now we've hit a minute, I'm going to put my cup on top, gently flip it over, and I'm going to press down slowly over about 10 to 15 seconds. You don't want to push too hard or too quickly, otherwise you're going to cause the water to channel inside the coffee bed. As soon as you hear the air hiss, you're going to stop, take your brewer off, push the rest of the water out over the sink. Now this is an 8-ounce cup. We're going to top it up with a little bit of hot water. Perfect. Now you're ready to go.